Sorry about that, I actually don't want a new game. No, I don't want a new game. I want my old game. Okay, I'm gonna have a few moments to load here because I know there's some lag. So I'm Valdveg over here. You can refer to me as Veg or Vald or whatever. But on Twitch I'm Valdveg. I'm going to be playing Hatoful Boyfriend with you this evening. Hatoful Boyfriend could sound like either hurtful or what is the other thing it can sound like? It can sound like Hatoful can sound like hurtful or heartful boyfriend. So there's kind of a pun there. This was originally a Japanese game. So there are a lot of things about it that are probably a little weird or a little culturally referencey, hard to get if you haven't been exposed to like anime and manga and all that, but I've been pretty well exposed as both a teenager and then as an adult who doesn't really, I read some manga, but I don't really do anime anymore, but is in the same area as many of those things. Okay, let me go back to the title for you and get this really started. Okay, so we're playing Hatoful Boyfriend, hurtful, or which can sound like either hurtful or hateful boyfriend, and there's a reason for that, because it's both like a normal dating game and also super creepy in a lot of weird ways. The premise is that I am one of the few remaining humans on Earth, I think, and I'm going to a high school for pigeons, and I can date pigeons. Originally, this game was just an April Fool's thing. It was originally Japanese, and you know, it wasn't intended to be kind of a big deal, but it kind of took off and got its own life and has become kind of a phenomenon. I remember it came out a few years ago and everybody was talking about it, because it's not, like, it's, one, you're dating pigeons, which got people's attention, and then two, it's not, like, it gets creepy. There's some creepy stuff going on, which I don't think anybody was really expecting. People weren't like, oh, pigeon dating game, it's gonna creep me out. That was not what they were thinking. But it is a little creepy, which is interesting. Right now I'm just messing in the background with trying to set some things up on Twitch because I'm all new to it. So I'm not always sure what I'm doing, which is just how things are when you're new to things. There we go, I think I've got things where I'm happy with them. Yep, I do. So here are my birds. This is Oko-san. He's like basically a normal pigeon, so he's very dumb. And kind of physical. You can date him. He likes pudding. I don't know why. This is Yuuya, who we're gonna date this evening. He's kind of, I think he's a secret agent, actually. I think he's an undercover agent. This is Nageki, who lives in the library, and I've done his story. It was very normal. It could have been a human. Like, there was no real bird references in his. It was sweet, sad. Ryota, who's your childhood best friend. So there's that. They're all kind of types that you would usually find in a dating game like this in Japan. So like your childhood friend, and the guy who's a snob, and the professor you can have a crush on, because that's a thing in a lot of manga and anime is teacher-student romances. Don't ask me, but it is. And the creepy doctor, who is creepy, and I dated him and went, oh shit, because it's creepy. So that's the teacher you can date. Creepy doctor. This guy's kind of a snob. He's the transfer student, which is another kind of type that's in a lot of Japanese things. And he's also an aristocrat, so he's French. So I've dated most of them. I've dated the teacher last night. I dated that guy. I don't like at all. I've dated this guy, the aristocrat, French aristocrat, transfer student. Dated my childhood friend. I dated library guy. I've dated the pigeon that is just a pigeon. And now I'm gonna date Yuuya, who I think is the secret agent. So let's load the game so we can get past some of the intro screens. A little easier to do this. Let's see, do we want to do from the first choice to the check-in? Since this is the first evening, I'll kind of take you through just the intro. Most visual novels, thank heavens, have this fast-forward button, so if you've been through a scene, you can do it again. So this is my school, St. PigeoNations. I am going here, and that is my best friend. You see him briefly there. He's like, hey, you're going to school, woo! And this is the first part of a dating game, is usually you get to see all the characters that you might date. So you can go like, oh, I might go for this one. So this is the sleepy math professor. He's narcoleptic, which is interesting. I dated him and it didn't explain why he was narcoleptic. He just is. And you can see that when you first see any of the birds, they kind of give you like an anime character idea of what they would look like if they were human. But they're not human, they're birds. Here's Sakuya, who's the aristocrat Frenchy dude. He looks like a snob. He is a snob. And there's the library. You're gonna show me Library Boy. I like his music. It's kind of creepy and sad. It's my favorite piece of music I've run into yet. Let's see. Are they gonna show me Nageki? There. So he has like the weird, downcast kind of anime boy. That's him. Here's who we're gonna date this evening, Yuuya, who is the half-brother of the French transfer student Snob, I think. I think that's what they're just fighting about there, because the Snob doesn't want to talk to him. Here we go. So, like, I've saved him for last, because look at that. If you have to choose anime boys, that is completely my type. We've got glasses, we've got blue hair, blue eyes, he's wearing a beret. I mean, there's nothing, I mean, it's pretty good. I take it. But he's my favorite design. And he speaks French with me and flirts with me a lot, so I don't know. He's just kind of odd. We're gonna be dating him this evening. And here we are, off we go. Here's the guy I never want to date again, but I think I will have to get one of his roots finished. He's so creepy. He's a pheasant, and he's the infirmary doctor. Like the school doctor nurse thing. But he also kills students for experiments, which is not really a spoiler because it's pretty obvious from meeting him that that's what he does. So, he's weird. Weird! Oh, it's Froze Dump. Doesn't like me. The doctor has frozen. Heard me talking smack about him and he froze my game. That's so funny. Don't talk badly about the doctor where he can hear you. He might kill you, which is true. Okay, so basically I just loaded another game because it had frozen there. It doesn't do that very often. It's done it once or twice to me. And we've skipped forward to the end of that first section that introduces all the different birds. You saw all the birds, so you have seen all the characters. So this is, you know, a dating game. You go along, mostly you spend a lot of time reading. Then you make choices that determine which bird, usually which character, which boy, woman, whichever you're gonna go for. It's usually pretty obvious where choices will take you to. Some games have bad endings where you can actually like die or ruin your life or stuff like that if you don't do it right. You could actually die in this one. Like if you don't end up dating a bird, if none of the birds end up being a romantic interest and you just kind of chose neutral things, you get assassinated. A secret agent comes and shoots you for not falling in love with pigeons. So yeah, you get things like that in this game where I think it's pretty obvious there's some weird sci-fi dystopia thing going on in the background behind all this innocent pigeon dating. So I'm going to join the infirmary staff because I think Yuuya is a special agent investigating the doctor who is also a special agent but for, I think, an opposite side. This is little hints I've picked up from other routes. I think Yuuya's on the good guy's side, so we'll see. So I'm gonna go to the infirmary staff because Yuuya gets there a lot, investigating the doctor. So I've been joined the infirmary staff for my club or volunteer activity, which increases my chances of being around Yuuya. And you get these electives where you can choose to do different classes to up your statistics up here. So some characters will like you better if you're wise, or physically fit, which is vitality, or have charisma. I'm gonna just go, I don't think Yuuya really cares, but I'm gonna do math. Some of the characters, it's easy to tell what they would like best, or what would make you more likely to fit in. You can tell, I named myself generic and formal, because I couldn't keep track of who was calling me by my last name and my first name, since it's in the Japanese name order, where last name comes first, first name comes last by our standards. Family is first, personal is last. So I wanted to be able to tell if people were being familiar with me or not easily. So he's being familiar. Yuuya's here. So he's in the second in command in the infirmary, despite he and the doctor, I think, being opposite sides. Have some secret dove battle. So he wants me to clean up after him. He's always flirting with me. He just flirts with everybody, I think. He's very popular at school, apparently. And it is an avian experimentation room. I discovered that in the doctor's room, which is creepy. I'm gonna look at his files. Here's the doctor. I don't like him. He's so like big and puffy. Ominous. He's like, don't touch my files. I'm like, oh, you're creepy. But maybe I saw something that will make Yuuya like me more. See, I live in a cave. I'm a human being who lives in a cave. There are no other human beings around. Something happened to all of them. Now we're gonna go on a hike. So who should I talk to while I'm on the hike? Yuuya's not in my class. So he's not in my homeroom, so I can't talk to him. So I'll talk to his brother, who doesn't like hiking, because he's an aristocrat. And it just doesn't do anything for him. So we'll skip through that, because I've read it before. Here's another elective. I'm going to go with math again. Get my brains up, in case it'll help me live through this route. Like, you have to do math all the time to date the teacher. Which makes sense. I mean, you don't date the teacher. I was relieved the game does not go there. Because I'm not into the May-December power dynamics or way off romancy things. They make me go, ah! But you get an ending that's slightly romantic with him. Time for the sports festival, which is a thing that Japanese schools do, where you have this big sports day. They used to have sports days when I was in school too, so I guess they kind of have them in the US. He doesn't even like the idea. Let's see, how... I think Yuuya's gonna be at the infirmary tent, so Yuuya's not gonna be racing. He's just gonna be manning the first aid tent. So that's where I'll go. I'm gonna go over to the first aid tent to see if he's over there. I know he is. This is one of those weird moments. They're like, the birds apparently still use an obstacle course that's designed for human beings, so they hurt themselves a lot. And the doctor's over there being creepy and taking notes on the students, because he experiments on them all the time. we go. I learned some first aid. Aren't I fancy? And I got my exam back. I've been doing math, so I'm doing alright. Yay, did well at math. Doesn't matter because Yuuya doesn't care. But you have to take some class, so. Where should I go? It's break right now in the day. I'm gonna go to the store because in another playthrough I realized that Yuuya's there. Da-da, gonna go to the store, which only sells things for birds. Nest building materials. There he is. He's gonna flirt with me again. See, this is one of the weird lines where they remind you that you're dating doves. They reach sexual maturity within a year of birth, which is uncomfortable. Alright, so usually in this game, I think almost always, the top option when you get options like this is the one that will get you points with whoever you're talking to. So it'll move you forward and make them like you better. So I'm gonna answer back and say he's a little rude. So he took that well. You know, I said like, quit flirting with me. He's like, I could do that. What should I do? I'm gonna do math. Again. I'm always so good at math at the end of the game. It's always what I choose if I have a choice. I don't know what Tanabata is. It's obviously a kind of festival. Almost certainly a real one. It happens in Japan. This part, you look at the fortunes people put on trees. And whatever's up here, whoever's fortunes you see are the ones that most like you by this point in the game. So it lets you see if you're going where you want to go and adjust if you're not. So Sakuya, the French aristocrat snob, likes me, apparently. And Yuuya likes me, which is what I am going for, so we're good. And the professor likes me because I've been studying math. I think I want to rule the world from the shadows because nobody cares. None of the people care what choice I make there. And if I was dating the teacher, I would let him walk me home now, or aiming for the teacher, I should say. But I'm not, so I'm going to decline his offer. I do like this background. This is probably my favorite background in the game. It's pretty. I like the colors. And the composition. Taking math again. Taking math again. We are going to discuss how math will help us in life. We conclude it's not. Why am I doing? Oh, huh. Okay, so this scene, it started off like the scene when I date Oko-san, the pigeon who just pretty much acts like a pigeon, but it's gonna go a little different. Oh, Sakuya's its little brother. I thought Sakuya was probably older. These are parts I haven't read, so I'm reading them. Oh, I have to judge. I have to judge their swimming race. I've not had this scene before, even when I was dating Sakuya. Even though it's a Sakuya scene. Now I'm gonna say, of course, Yuuya, because I'm trying to get him. Apparently, Yuuya is a ripped dove. Interesting. I don't really know what a ripped dove would look like. It's really unclear in this game if the doves are like human size or if they're all actually dove size. There are lines that make it sound one way and the other. It's pretty funny if you imagine them all like normal dove size. He's grinding his beak in frustration. That sounds difficult. Yeah, Yuuya seems to want to talk to his brother, but his brother usually disses him. I think they're half brothers or something. Rhodes is telling me, oh, he's telling me about the students that disappear. And to be careful in the infirmary, which is not, this is an important warning. Actually, he's completely right to be really concerned. Oh, Yuuya has just been caught going through the doctor's papers. So now I have to help save Yuuya in this scene. He's asking me to lie and say they were together, so that we were together. So the doctor, so he has an alibi for being in the infirmary. So this is one of the places where if I was trying to get the doctor, which I did once and will never do again, I would say that Yuuya's lying right now, that we weren't together. But I'm gonna lie for Yuuya and save his butt. We're having a sexy and luxurious sunbath. There you go. So I just saved Yuuya's life. That's why I think he's a secret agent, because he's investigating the doctor. And I did well in my finals because I've been studying math. We're done with the semester. Breaks in Japan are at different times in the school year and shorter, I think, than over here. Oh, do I say? I forget. I think I'm gonna ask him about missing students. It wouldn't be cool if students were disappearing. I don't know why I would think that. So now I go for a run. Oh, I've accidentally skipped the scene where you see like ruins of skyscrapers, which is the other thing that says dystopia. This is a sparrow who's part of a girl gang, and she drove me home. Now I can get a job if I want, but Yuuya doesn't show up if you do, so I'm gonna skip it. And now I'm gonna go to the summer festival, which is just an outdoors festival with fireworks and food. Pretty traditional thing in Japan. I wanna go with Yuuya, of course. That's a pretty good line. I've never held somebody's hand, but I'm pretty silly as a main character. I'm holding his wing, I guess. See, that's where you're like, are they the norm? They have to be human sized, and then there'll be a line that makes you go, maybe they're tiny. You never know. I'm gonna ask him about his investigation, I bet ya. Oh, yep. They're gonna flash back in case I'd forgotten what happened like literally like 2 minutes ago. Ooh, ominous music telling me that I'm gonna learn something. Little story hints about the whatever conspiracy is behind the school. All the birds refer to me as a hunter-gatherer. Probably because I live in a cave. There's a hint for you that we're talking to a bisexual bird. Which I think there are we've done studies, and I think there are bisexual birds out there. So we think somebody was listening to us. A gunshot? Oh, I guess he lived through it. He's rummaging around in a garbage can. Oh, I think the doctor deposits body parts around the park. It's that kind of dating game. So he's clearly investigating. And this part I made a mistake and go to school a day early, which is not a mistake I would ever make. I don't need to do any of those things, so I'll go home. And now we're in school again. Woo. For another term, or semester? Term, I guess. Oops, and this is just a scene where I find a missing student's ID on the floor. Implying further that, yeah, kids are getting off. You'd think their parents would be like, where have all my children gone? But this must be like Hogwarts. You send your children to school and you never look back. Even if the teachers are like, yeah, they just go missing sometimes. This is a school festival. I think each classroom in this kind of thing puts on its own activity in Japan. A butler cafe. There are maid cafes and butler cafes. Cafes, and I don't know. I'd like to visit Japan someday. I think I would go and go like, this is unusual. But, you know, I'd still like to go. I'm gonna go spy on Yuuya's activity. Oh, little cafe, new background. I haven't seen this place before. Oh, he's wearing a suit. That's pretty great. Apparently my character likes doves and suits. Alright, so I just checked in. Nothing weird happened there. So I'm going back to the infirmary to help out. Oh, I have not... Oh, now this is a new character. I have not seen this character. This cockatoo. I guess he's the janitor. I guess some of the students think he's cute, the janitor? Okay. Oh, they're both agents. I love how dense my character is. It's like, really, like, kids are disappearing. He's doing this investigation stuff. The doctor's creepy. I think he put it together. There's a lot of career prep that goes on in high school, or like making career choices early, from what I understand. Oh, he's missing. I wonder if the shop's a base. Okay, we just ran away. Yep. I might. I have in certain routes. Yep, he's definitely an agent. In case I haven't caught on, which my character's dumb as a brick, or silly as a brick, and hasn't. Oops. He ran off. So I wouldn't be in danger. I'm the top of the class. New Year. Now I'm going to the shrine. We're a Shinto shrine, I believe. This is my childhood friend is working at the shrine. Took a charm. The teacher's here. He got a bad charm. I got a charm with a chicken. And Yuuya's here. He's here because the doctor was here. In a different path, I met the doctor here, so I know he's here somewhere. So Yuuya's looking for him. My character is so dense. It's like, yeah, he's a secret agent. Catch on. We're back from the new year. Back at school. So I'm about to celebrate, essentially Valentine's Day. Except in this case, it's Legumintine's Day, when we give beans to the boy we like. So I'm gonna give him some beans. What kind does he like? I don't remember if he likes this kind. These are expensive, so I'll give him the expensive ones. Oh, I have his number. So I'm gonna give him beans in the park as a sign of my love. He must be like, this girl, she just doesn't get it. So I'm out on the town, and I've run into Yuuya. He ran away from me. Oh, I grabbed him. That was forward of me. Ooh, he's hurt. Yep, he's getting shot again. Oh, here we go. This is... so his route reveals some more of the dystopia that's going on around us. The political parties and the Hawk Party and the Dove Party. The Hawks are the ones who kill me if I don't date doves. And the Dove Party, I think, is the opposition, so he's gonna be Dove Party. Oh, okay. That makes sense. But for some reason, the Hawk Party wants me to date birds, even though they want to get rid of me. Yep, the doctor's the Hawk agent. I can really make my character really dense. It's so clear it's Dr. Imamine. So the kids are being made into pens and food. I'm gonna become a secret agent because I want to date a dove. Of course I want to go. If you didn't, it'd be like, yep, no, whatever. Sorry, bye. So we're off to become secret agents. There you go. So I went off to become a secret agent and fight people who want to exterminate humans with Yuuya the dove, who apparently is, I don't know if he was doing a Jump Street kind of thing and is actually older than high school students. I hope so. If not, they recruit them young. So every ending you get a little graphic. Whoop, got his little graphic. You can see it gave me a Steam achievement. So now I've dated all of the standard doves. There's one dove that you can get as a secret route, and then there's apparently a final part of the game that's really weird, and once you've dated all the doves. So I'll have to see if that shows up for me eventually. Here's the gallery with all the endings I've collected. I have the good endings for everybody except the one kind of hidden one that I'm gonna date next. And then I have 2 empty spots because I got the good endings instead of the bad endings for 2 of the characters. So I have to go get the bad endings, which seems ridiculous, but you know, whatever. To finish my gallery out. Every time you win, you get a new note in here, and these, you should really read these if you play the game, because they fill in little hints about what's actually going on at the school. Which is, you know, science experiments, and there's apparently an underground facility that had a fire once, and it's clear there's medical experiments going on down there. So there you go. That was actually a pretty good route to take to kind of give you a sense of the weird combination of stuff going on in these games. This game. That there's this, you know, like, it's the silly game where you're dating doves, and then it's like a game where there are some weird dystopian stuff going on in the background and students getting killed and made into food and all of that. So that's, you know, that was pretty representative. There are a few routes where there's like no real hints that something creepy is going on and it seems normal. I'd say like your childhood friend and the boy in the library are both very normal. They just are, they're roots. You have kind of a normal little love story with them. They're still doves, so there's that, but this guy's is weird, but it doesn't reveal anything about the world. But this one's normal too. Okay, so I guess there are 3 normal. The uppity French aristocrat bird, your childhood friend, and the library boy are all pretty normal little roots that are like primarily love stories. Or silly love stories. This one, a lot of stuff about the world, very creepy. That's the doctor. Professor, a little about the world. And Yuuya quite a bit. So, I find, actually, I've played a few other visual novels, and I find that's kind of a normal balance. That there are a few characters that their root really focuses just on, like, just the romance. Just the 2 characters. And that there are other roots that you get more world building. So it's not just this game. But I'm going to stop streaming for the moment. I might stream more later in the weekend. I hope this worked. This was my first stream. I hope you could hear me. Thank you for watching if you watched. I don't know yet if so far I would, you know, the game's pretty cheap. It's like $10. So if you want to have a little weird bird experience, it's, you know, it's probably worth $10. I'll know really what I think of it once I get the final route, which apparently unlocks like the whole weird backstory, and you play something that's supposed to be pretty creepy, I think, where you investigate what's really going on at the school, and the dating game kind of goes away. And I think that's when I'll know what I really think of it. Like if it's too creepy or too off-kilter or too unbalanced, I don't know. But as far as just dating doves, the dove dating part, if you want to date doves, there they are. You can date them. Probably $10 will cover it. I'm signing off for the evening. Have a good one.